Hello friends, and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In the series of planets through various houses, in this video we will learn about placement of Sun in the sign of Scorpio for a Gemini Ascendant. So when Gemini, the third sign, is rising, Scorpio sign falls in the 6th house. So this video is also about Sun in the 6th house for Gemini Ascendant. So we have a horoscope where the third sign, which is the Gemini, is rising in the horoscope, meaning it is placed in the very first house. And in this case, the Scorpio sign falls into the 6th house and Sun is placed right here. Now, any placement of Sun has a great impact on the horoscope because Sun represents your very soul, and by soul in Vedic astrology the meaning is to the very core of your being. Sun also represents your physical self. It is the primary karaka of the physicality. So both from the physical as well as mental perspective, a placement of Sun is utmost important in a horoscope. So these areas of life will definitely be impacted. Now we know that Sun lords over the sign of Leo, which is in the 3rd house. So we have 3rd house Lord Sun in the 6th. So 3rd house related affairs will have great impact because of this placement. At the same time, Sun will have an aspect on the 12th house. So 12th house, that is how you spend your money. What are your connections with the foreign world? How much do you believe in other worlds, or your spirituality, or the kind of pleasures you are going to have in this life? All of it, which are the items shown by 12th house, will be impacted by this placement. So you see, this one placement of Sun has many impact on a person, and we will try to look at them one by one. So for a quick reference, I have summarized those areas of life which this placement affects directly. There are quite a lot of those, and we will try to cover the high level items. So let's first begin with the personality, because Sun is, as we talked earlier, shows your soul, and soul basically represents what you truly are. Now this is a placement where 3rd house Lord is placed in the 6th. Now 3rd house, among many other things, is the house where our mental activities begin. So when the life starts from the 1st house, the 2nd house is the beginning of your emotions. 3rd house is when you start using your brain or analyzing things. It is also called as house of courage, or the kind of actions you take in life. And that Lord, Sun being that Lord, placed in the 6th house, which is another house of a lot of efforts. It is the house which shows your obstacles in life, or the kind of areas where you are more likely to work. So when this 3rd house Lord Sun is in the 6th house, what it gives a person, is a very curious nature. They are really curious to know things. And as you know, 6th house is actually known as the house of your enemies, or people who are sort of opposed to you. So what happens is, lordship of 3rd house to the Sun makes it a malefic, and when a malefic Sun is in the 6th house, it basically kills your enemies. So people with this placement tend to win over their enemies very easily, but the problem is they tend to invest a lot of time researching and plotting the downfall of their enemies also. This is very common placement in people who are very shrewd, very smart, and they know when to attack their enemies and defeat them. So if this placement is supported by a strong Mars or strong Mercury, then some of the best spies in the world could have this kind of placement. Now it is difficult, I mean, just one placement will not make you a spy. It will definitely make you a very curious, very smart, very calculative person who would use those faculties to defeat the enemies easily. But with this, at the same time, suppose Mercury and Mars is well placed, then there could easily be some association with some kind of investigative kind of work or field. But one thing which must be taken care of, that you should try and not spend too much amount of money or time. See, because what happens is Sun is the most important planet, and when that Sun, that energy of Sun, if that is spent on just trying to defeat your enemies a lot, then in many cases it is seen people can end up being in some kind of law affairs or court cases many times, or as I said, they could be good spies. It could also make for good lawyers, because they always have to keep on thinking of strategies to defend their clients and defeat their enemies. But if you're not in a profession like this, then it ends up taking a lot of your time. So my advice has always been, either you go into one of such areas where you actually work and make it a profession, or please don't spend too much time doing those kind of things, doing that kind of analysis, because then it takes a lot of energy out. See, Sun's energy in the 6th house, unless used constructively, is pretty much a waste. So please bear that caveat in mind. But overall, personality wise, you can definitely say it is a highly curious personality with all the other qualities we just discussed. Now 6th house also shows ill health or the kind of sickness you may get. And when Sun is placed here, especially if this Sun becomes afflicted by, say, association with Rahu or aspects from Saturn or Mars, then the position here in the 6th house in Scorpio sign can result in problems of digestion, either in the digestive tract or in case of women in the reproductive system many times. Because 6th house as well as the sign of Scorpio is very closely associated with these areas. Now remember, as I said, this would happen only if there is a strong affliction to this Sun. Now apart from these, also since Sun represents your bones, problems in the joints or joint pains is also very common with this placement. And many times stones, the gallbladder stones or kidney stones is quite common too. So drinking a lot of water is something which you should do if you have this placement. And one common observation you will find, whenever Sun is in this placement, especially in this watery sign of Scorpio, the digestive system becomes very quick. These people tend to digest things very, very fast. They would eat something and in 2 hours they might feel, start hungry again. And it would mean that their frequency of needing to use washroom will also be quick. This is a funny but a very common observation when you have this Sun in 6th house. So please observe this if you find such a horoscope or if this is one of the combination in your horoscope. But overall, it does make a person hardworking who is not shy of working hard and pay the price of success, because Sun here in the 6th house, which shows your obstacles, it needs hard work to come over those obstacles, and Sun is your soul or your basic nature. So these people are definitely someone who would not be shy of working hard, and they need to be properly successful in life. Obviously, given the fact that Mercury here, which is the Lord, which is the 1st house, meaning Lord of the 1st house, is well placed, because generally sun represents the soul, but ascendant and the influence on ascendant also has great impact on the kind of personality you will have. So the analysis of this sun has to go in conjunction with the Mercury to understand the total personality. Now another important thing about which I want to point out is relationship with the authorities. See, sun is in the 6th house. So if it is well aspected, say it is aspected by Jupiter, then these people can be very well successful, in say field of law. But if it is not well placed, if it is in any case afflicted, then please be careful in dealing with your boss, because these people then tend to develop a trait of unnecessarily meddling with their superiors. So in any case, dealing with authorities or people who are above you or who are superior to you in any ways should be done with a lot of care. The very fact that sun is here and it aspects the 12th lord, which shows expenses, it can show that these people can end up paying a lot of money in penalty, some or the other kind of penalty, especially when sun and 12th is afflicted together. Otherwise, if they are well placed, then they can end up getting a lot of grace from their bosses. So that depends on how this sun is placed. But in any case, being very considerate towards your boss is necessary. It doesn't matter whether it is well placed or not well placed. The fact that sun is in the 6th house shows that you need to give due respect to the higher authorities, otherwise you are going to end up in trouble very easily. So please be careful about this aspect of life. Now I know there are so many other things which we can talk about. However, since this video is already long enough, I'm going to stop here. Thank you for watching thus far. Please do put in your comments about any other area of life you want to know more because of this placement of sun. Also, please do hit the like and subscribe button to continue to receive more videos like this. Thank you for watching so far and see you again soon. Bye bye.